Hey, and welcome back to the Friday Five. This week we are going to cover rates, local transfer tax increase for a local municipality, quick update on the CFPB, some details on the new conventional loan limits, and a quote of the week from Teddy Roosevelt. So here we go. All right, number one, we're going to jump in where we always start with mortgage rates. These are national averages from Mortgage News Daily. VA 30-year fixed is sitting at 5.9%. FHA 30-year fixed just a little bit below that at 5.89%. Conventional 30-year fixed at 6.27%. And then conventional Dave Ramsey special 15-year fixed at 5.76%. So we are very close to some of the best levels that we've seen this year in 2025. We're slightly off them, and the market's a little bit worse today. But overall, in a good place from a rate perspective. Most are expecting another Fed rate cut at the meeting that happens next week on the 10th. And lately, from an economic reports perspective, both the employment data and recent inflationary numbers have shown a little bit of softening. ADP report came in with job losses instead of gains this past week, and then the PCE inflation report came out today and actually was slightly below the forecast. So both of those things are good for rates. I'm still optimistic headed into 2025 that we might start to see some conventional 30 years or more conventional 30 years in that high 5 range versus low 6s. But I love that we've seen a little bit of improvement already. Number two, the city of Allentown just recently passed an increase on the transfer tax. So essentially, when a property is transferred from one owner to a new one, there's transfer tax that's collected by the state and then county and local municipality, and it's kind of split up between them. Well, Allentown just increased it 0.5% on their portion. So that means that 0.5% is going to be split between buyer and seller typically, so 0.25% for each. Let's say the average sales price is $300,000, which is probably on the high side for City of Allentown, but let's say it's $300,000. This would equate to a $750 cost increase to the buyer, as well as a $750 cost increase to the seller in that transaction. So I think it's easy to say it's not a huge number, definitely impactful, but not enormous. But here's why I'll push back against that. First, the tax revenue from transfer tax has already gone up dramatically over the past couple years. It's always been a percentage of the purchase price, and property values have clearly increased significantly, and sales prices have increased significantly over the past couple years. So the transfer tax revenue that the state, county, and city have gotten over the past couple years is much more than it would have been with the lower sales prices from a couple years ago. So second, tax increases are a slippery slope. Typically, when you start with tax increases, future increases tend to follow, and that's concerning. There are certain areas, City of Reading, City of Philadelphia, that already have much higher transfer tax amounts than the rest of the state, and I don't want to see Allentown or other local municipalities follow that. And then lastly, tax revenue, oftentimes it gets misappropriated and it isn't used for the intended purpose. So in this case, according to the articles that I've read, the tax revenue generated by the increase is supposed to help homeowners or home buyers, but I have my doubts that the revenue will actually benefit that group, that it'll find its way to them or help them in any substantial way. The city of Easton does have similar discussion going on right now. I really hope that they don't follow suit, because then I'm concerned that it could catch on like wildfire in the whole area. Number three, CFPB update. I think it's on life support. I was one that I thought maybe they would shrink the size but retain the CFPB. But man, the Trump administration is really going after the CFPB. They declared in a court filing recently that the CFPB's funding is unlawful and that the agency cannot legally request funds from the Federal Reserve. Much of the CFPB's work has been suspended. There's been an effort to cut up to 90% of the staff, and it just doesn't look good for the CFPB at this point. So we shall see what will happen in the future, but definitely on life support at this point. Number 4, quick update on the conventional loan limits. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the major institutions or investors that publish the mortgage guidelines for conventional loans, they just announced that they've increased their maximum loan amount from $806.5 last year to $832,750. That's a 3.25%-ish increase from 2025 to 2026. There also are high-cost areas throughout the country, but none here locally in Eastern PA. It's really just West Coast and New York City. Anything that is over this $832,750 loan amount would be considered a jumbo loan and then subject to different lending requirements. And lastly, FHA, they probably will increase their max amount. Last year in Lehigh and Northampton County, it was like $518 or something like that. But they haven't posted their new limits for 2026. Once they do, I'll jump on here and announce them to you all. And lastly, number 5, quote of the week from Teddy Roosevelt. This one, I don't know, I was reminded of this past week. He penned these words of wisdom: comparison is the thief of joy. And we live in a world where competition, comparison, social media bombardment, it constantly is telling us that someone's doing it better, or someone has more, or someone's vacations are better, or there's just so much comparison, and it's very easy, for me included, to compare and get discouraged or discontent with what I have. And man, comparison, it's just so true. It just steals joy. And in those moments, I try to go back to the gratitude piece, where remind yourself of what you're blessed with and what you have and what's important in life. Because I think the things that we look at that we compare don't matter, like in the grand scheme of things. So I hope that maybe that encourages you in some way. Don't compare with others. It just is going to steal your joy. Have a great weekend. If I can help you in any way, please let me know. Thanks for watching.